Hey everybody, it's Dave Bolduc. Inside today in this getting to be nasty weather. I tried to shoot the video earlier, but the wind was knocking over the tripod. If you saw my last one, you saw the same thing happen, so I'm trying to avoid that. I wanted to talk about title insurance. What is it? Is it something that we can skip to, or not title insurance, title searches? What is it? Is it something that we can skip to save a little bit of money? So I am not an attorney. I'll tell you that right out of the gate. Hey Mason, how you doing? But definitely want to talk to an attorney. This is my experience. So about a year ago, and Mason's watching, he's one of the ones that helped me with this, I bought a property up in Middletown. That property had tax liens against it. It means they hadn't paid their residential real estate tax, and they were getting in trouble for it, right? So they had to pay fines, and they'd put the lien on the property. I went in there and needed some work as well. Bought it. Before we bought it, we did a title search. So I had an attorney go in, take a look at the land records, see what the chain of title is, see if there were any other issues. There were. We found 2 probate issues where people who had been on title had passed away. Hey Albert, how you doing? Had passed away, and the title had not been updated, or the deed had not been updated to reflect that they had passed away. So there's 2 probate issues. There were also 3 judgment liens. So judgment liens are a court, for some reason, puts a lien on a property because of something. There's a million reasons why. And then there was also the tax liens I talked about. The assessor's office had the neighbor's house and this house that I'm buying, the information swapped. So the neighbor's house had this house's information, this house had the neighbor's house's information. Created a lot of confusion. And then finally, there was a right of way for the driveway for this property. About a third of the driveway for this property was actually on the neighbor's yard, which it was all written into the deed. It just wasn't clear, so it could have caused some problems. So we had to fix that as well. So all of those things, if I had bought the house without doing a title search, I wouldn't have known that they were there, and they could have been problems. And those 3 judgment liens, they were each about $10,000. So just to kind of give you an idea of how big that is. So to tell you that story, that's why we did the title search. We fixed those problems, bought the house, everything's going great. Just want to talk a little bit about what is a title search. So like I said, every town in Connecticut has land records. And those land records are the history of the ownership of every single piece of real property in the town. You can go down to the town hall, typically is where it is, and you can look through it yourself. If you want to know who owned your house 30 years ago, you can go down to the town hall, do the research, and you'll know. So what an attorney does is they use that as their primary source. They look at other things as well, but that's the primary source. They look at the chain of title. Who has owned the property? Was it properly transferred? You know, if person A and person B owned it, when it was transferred to person C, did person A and B do that, or just person A? If it was only person A, then where did person B go? You got to figure. Sorry about that. Got a call. And then they also look for liens. They look for other issues that might be out there. And any liens or anything like that on the title is called clouding the title. So if you find anything that's clouding the title, you have to get that cleared before you close. Because again, it said those liens run with the property. So if you buy it, you own the liens. Again, talk to an attorney about all this, but this is just my experience, something to be thinking about. So now, how do you protect yourself against some kind of an error in the title search? Well, especially if you have a mortgage, your lender will require title insurance. So a title insurance company will issue a policy after reviewing the title search and say, okay, we believe that this title is clear and everything's good. And if there are any problems, any errors, then the title insurance company will help resolve those issues. So that's something that you definitely want to do. You buy your lender a policy, and then you should buy yourself a policy. You can talk to your attorney about that and make sure that you get the protection that you need. So I hope that my story at the beginning kind of give you an idea of some of the things that could go wrong. That's probably the worst case I've ever seen. I'm sure someone else can come up with something worse, but that was a pretty bad one for us. And sometimes there's no problems at all. But it's always worthwhile to do that title search to make sure that you've got a marketable title, make sure there's no problems, no clouds on the title, so that when you take possession, somebody's not going to come out of the wall and say, hey, this is a problem. I want money because I had some ownership interest in this house. hopefully that's helpful. We're getting to the end here. The last thing I'm going to talk about when I go live again is we're going to talk about the closing day and everything that happens. So right now, you've got your clear to close. Everything's there. Title search is something that actually happens before you get clear to close, but I realized I had missed it. And we'll talk next about what happens on just before closing, on closing day, and then when you get your keys and you're able to go into your house. So hope everything's going well. I've got down here my website and also my phone number. If you have any questions, if there's any topics that you're curious about and I haven't covered, I'll be glad to do that. Give me a call, 203-464-1479. You guys have a great day.